Hi everybody, welcome to Tech Tip Friday. I'm Kurt Staley, that plastics guy, and I'm bringing you a tip that you can take to the shop floor with you today. So today we're going to talk about silos and bulk trucks, and unfortunately this is coming from an issue I'm dealing with a very good customer of mine right now. I had product delivered to them in a tanker truck, and now we've got a silo contamination issue. So if this happens to you, what do you do? First, as a supplier, well, there are a few things you can do. First of all, from the bulk truck transport company, you have to request their cleaning certificate. Now, this will go through, when they actually do the cleaning of the tanker, all the things that they have to clean and inspect. So there's two people involved, the person doing it and someone who double checks the cleanliness of the tanker, and this is signed off, it's dated, and the tanker is sealed. So once it's clean, there are, sealed, probably a wire and a little lead thing, that type of thing. At any rate, the tanker is sealed. So it's known that this is a clean tanker. Don't mess with it until it's dispatched to its next job, which in this case would be my supplier. So you have to know that there's a clean tanker. That's wonderful. And when the tanker is on site being filled, there should be another inspection done to make sure that all the compartments, or one compartment, however the tanker is configured, are also clean. So this is fantastic. We've got a clean tanker, we've got an on-site inspection prior to loading, and then the loading is done. Great. So the tanker is on its way. Well, from that point, you're sort of entrusting that things are going to be handled by the receiver and the individual operating the tank truck if they're pumping into the silo. And typically the pumping equipment, well, maybe not always, but most of the things that I've seen, there will be pumping equipment on the tanker itself. So as the plastics processor, what do you do? Well, in the case that I'm working on, it was a silo that was cleaned, so you've got a material transition, old product to my product coming in. I don't name customers or products. That's not even relevant in this particular case. But if you're cleaning, you have to entrust that someone who is going to clean it, if you're going to have staff do it, that they're properly instructed on how to clean it, and that somebody should also inspect that cleaning. If you're going to contract it out to a third party, you're presumably going to make some assumptions that they have the qualifications to do the job, but also inspect the quality of the job and make sure that all the material is out. Next, once that silo is clean, there should be some lockout on that silo so somebody can't inadvertently, totally by accident, put material back in, not being aware of the fact that that particular silo is going to transition to a new material. That may be the case here, I don't know. There's ongoing investigation. We'll get to it and we'll figure out what exactly happened. That's not a problem. So there are a lot of variables, more so, believe it or not, than with handling cartons. I mean, cartons are pretty simple. Material is compounded, or it's made and it's simply put into a carton, and your assumptions are you've got a clean carton liner, for example. Is that being done right? But contamination in a carton, when the material is freshly compounded going straight into a carton, it's far less. There's just less going on. There's less moving of material from one stage of production to another, to a truck, etc., etc. Less opportunity for a contamination to occur. So my suggestion, if you can stay with cartons, personally I think there's some advantages to that. And right now, with the reduced amount of bulk truck capital equipment on the road, it's actually not a savings anymore. It's neutral to a mild cost increase, simply because the majority of the bulk truck capital equipment, the actual tankers, they have been I think you could safely say sequestered or utilized the most by the food industry. Everything from flour, sugar, that type of thing. They're being handled in bulk. There is less spare equipment to divert to plastics and other chemicals. So bulk trucks aren't necessarily the savings that they used to be. But at any rate, if you find yourself going to a silo program as a supplier, do make sure that your compounder or your carrier, however your supply arrangement works, has all of the paperwork in place for a cleaning certificate, an inspection prior to loading, and that's the best you can do. And on the plastics processor side, make sure that silo is clean, that the pump truck, the tanker truck is being pumped into the correct silo, and do allow a very small amount of contamination that you're going to have to drain out the first time there's a material change, because there is going to be trace amounts of the previous material, probably in the crevices of the cone of the silo and a little bit in the pipes. You're going to see some, but it shouldn't be very much at all, especially if good care was taken in cleaning out the silo. So that's today's tech tip, and this is going to be an issue that I'm dealing with this particular customer. I will keep you updated, but we're expecting, I think, a positive outcome on this, and we'll be back into supplying a tanker truck very soon. So until we talk next week, I'm Kurt Staley, that plastics guy, wishing you a great Friday, a great weekend, and we'll talk soon. Thanks very much. Bye for now.